What do you know? Bananas. What should we do? What should we do? It's the day after Christmas. Bricia really wants some kind of banana bread. And I found in our Cooks Illustrated Best Recipes some banana muffins. And I'm going to follow this recipe, but then do a modified coconut and macadamia because, well, Bricia loves those things. So we'll do my own version of it. So you have your gluten-free flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, ripe large bananas, sugar, eggs, olive oil, vanilla extract, the fancy kind, some shredded coconut, and some macadamia nuts. But you gotta chop those things. I remember this little thing when I was a kid. I used to hate doing it, but I would chop the nuts up for my mom whenever she was making cookies or brownies. And Jacob's at the house right now. He's upstairs sleeping. If he was downstairs, I'd be having him doing this right now and maybe making some memories for him. But we got to chop those up. Going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 degrees. A little bit different than what the recipe called for, just because all I have is this mini muffin pan. I don't have a regular size one, so I'm going to go with the smaller or lower temperature, make sure things stay good. So go ahead and put your flour in your bowl, and you're going to have to mix in your baking powder and baking soda and salt. Maybe that fancy salt that we got from Ross, I think. So you got half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a tablespoon of baking powder. Just make sure that's all whisked together pretty well so it's just a nice even mixture. Next thing that you're going to do is bust out your bananas and peel them. And truth be told, these bananas were not very, very ripe. They weren't automatically mushy like some, but they still did the job, I suppose. So get them all out, get them in there. You see we had 4 or 5 large ones. And then this is when we're going to add in all of our wet ingredients. So, well, and that also includes the sugar, I guess. So quarter a cup of sugar, 2 large eggs, a third of a cup of olive oil. I think the recipe called for like canola or vegetable oil, but we use olive oil for everything. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which we use the fancy pants kind, which I don't know where I got. I ordered it off of the internet somewhere. Got some kind of deal, 50% off or something. So, but the regular imitation vanilla flavor from Walmart would do just fine. That's what we normally use. And then make sure you start mashing it up. And like I said before, these bananas, they were not automatically mushy. And so I still wanted to make sure that when Bricia came home from work today, that she, got the muffins that she wanted. So when in doubt, just mash them some more and they'll get to the consistency that you need them to be for this for sure. Next, we are going to add in all of our dry ingredients into our banana mixture here. So a little flour and everything else that we mixed together earlier. So you just want to make sure that this is good and mixed up. You don't want to overdo it here. And then next you're going to add in the shredded coconut and your macadamia nuts. And so the recipe calls for a third of a cup of shredded coconut, and this bag that you have here, I wasn't going to measure it. It was probably quite a bit more than a third of a cup, but it's fine. A little bit of extra coconut never hurt nobody. And then with the macadamia nuts, I just stopped doing what I was doing because I realized that I was going to toast these before I wanted them in there. Bricia likes things toasted, a little bit of, roasted on the pan. And so I got a tablespoon of butter, put it in the frying pan, heated it up on medium to high heat, and then for a few minutes just kind of turned and tossed my chopped up macadamia nuts to get them a nice, deep, smoky, nutty flavor, I guess. And I kind of lost track of time doing this, and they got a little bit more, charred than what I probably wanted them to be, as you can see. But that's how Bricia likes stuff, so, what she wants is what she gets. They're actually really good. I don't think I overdid anything. So you're going to go ahead and make sure that that's mixed in there pretty well. And whenever I grease a pan, I like to do it over the sink just because I don't like making messes everywhere. So don't mind my inconsistent spraying of things. And then next step is to fill up these muffin tins, one at a time. Try, do your best to not make a giant mess while you're doing it, but you can always clean it up afterwards as you go. And it's just kind of time consuming. You know, you can see how we kind of got all in there. Then we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven. Go ahead and set your timer for 14 minutes. Recipe calls for 14 to 18, but I think 14 or 15 worked out great for us overall. Then I kind of had a mad dash because I forgot that I had some extra macadamia nuts that I was going to sprinkle on top. I tried to grab the pan, but it got hot super fast. It was only in there for like a minute. So snatch those out and then go ahead and sprinkle some extra macadamia nuts on top just to give them a nice nutty flavor on the outside as well, which they were super delicious. So back in the oven they go. While they're in the oven, made a giant pancake and sausage while the muffins were in the oven. Now let's take a look at the muffins. You still hear that Amy Lou chicken sausage sizzling. Whoa, little bit of steam. Those look pretty good. That was the extra batter that was left over. And by how brown they are around here, we're going to call those done. Going to let them cool on this wire rack for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll pop them out. So if you don't rush it, you just kind of massage them, they pop right out. But I feel if I was rushing, I'd probably tear them up a little bit. Some of them are harder to come out than others, but this worked out well. Even the big ones popped out nice. I'm going to give this little one here a taste. Oh my gosh, delicious.